So this week I was driving to the doctor's appointment, and as I was doing that, I thought about going to get my mail. And ever since I had to close my business and had a lot of maybe things in the mail that I didn't want to see, I have been nervous about going to get the mail. And that has been like over a year. I also am nervous about looking at my bank account to see how much is in there. Looking at my, budgets to see how I should budget. I just have a lot of fear around that. It's kind of like almost a small PTSD. So with my theta energy healing, after I realized that I had this fear, I went to the creator of all that is and asked to be downloaded and to change my beliefs around the fear of getting the mail, creating a budget, looking at my accounts. So I put into myself the beliefs I am safe and protected when I get the mail. I am safe and protected when I look at my accounts. And some other things related to that I felt would help. And then, it is done. And as I went into that energy and did that work, later that day when I came home, I just stopped and got the mail. No problem. In fact, I was excited to see if maybe my next check was in there, or some surprise that I wasn't expecting was in the mail. So, work through your fears. I'm so grateful to have theta healing because it is so rapid and instantaneous. That's my mission statement. I facilitate rapid change in the lives of people seeking rebirth. And so here at the Rebirth Sanctuary, we can take a look at these fears and move into a new paradigm and shift into the new. So through theta healing and connecting with that energy, we are able to change our belief patterns in our subconscious, and not just a conscious type level, but really deep down. And it makes a difference in our behaviors. So our identity leads to our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors. So this is the message of the day. Work through your fears. Let's look at the opportunity that's coming to us. Okay, so I did some work with this deck before getting it ready energetically. Let's put some Reiki energy into it and see the card opportunity. Okay. The block to that opportunity and the thing that will benefit us. Okay. So the underlying energy, which I think is so important, it shows us a lot of what's going on in our subconscious, is the Ace of Cups. That's interesting. The opportunity yesterday was the Ace of Cups. It's a different card, but we were looking at the Ace of Cups yesterday as being the opportunity, something that you really love. It could be a person, place, thing, idea, something to do with your career, some new job that you're seeking, something that you really love. So for this to be the underlying today is kind of like maybe your higher self is asking you, did the opportunity happen yesterday? Were you able to connect with something that you loved? All right, so for today, on Tuesday, the opportunity is oppression. The what about luck? Oppression. So, can you see that card? It's pretty interesting. Okay, so I spent a few minutes reading about this card. So this card, Oppression, talks about some Aboriginal goddesses who are swallowed by the rainbow serpent and then are eventually reborn back into the light. And so they go from darkness to light. So I feel like it's connected to shadow work. So today you might have the opportunity to face one of your shadows. One of the best ways to face your shadow, and that's, oh my goodness, okay, work through your fears. Okay, so the shadows that you face today probably will come from a trigger. So there'll be some time in the day when something happens and it really upsets you, frightens you, triggers you in some way. And when that trigger happens, go with it, but then use it to understand yourself better. Usually, if you see something in someone else that you don't like, that's actually a reflection of yourself. I know it's hard to hear, but you can see here, it's kind of like they're reflecting on each other in this card. So they're reflecting on each other, they're connecting with each other at the same time. You are going from darkness to light. So your opportunity today is going to be to connect with part of your shadow self. Know there's nothing wrong with you. There's never anything wrong with you. But going and learning these triggers, getting to the point where you're not triggered in the future, and that it doesn't lead into a state of fear or a state of anger in the future, is such a blessing. So the block for you is the Six of Pentacles. And one of the meanings of the Six of Pentacles is that you are this person who has lots of money, and you're giving that to people that are less fortunate, or that for some reason you're far above these other people. In this case, it could be that your shadow work is going to have something to do with the ego. So one of the things that I learned the other day, I was listening to a channeling by Cryon, and he was talking about all of us, light workers and starseeds. We could have an ego. We could talk about all that healing that we've gone through, all of the things that we've been helped with and healed in our lives. We could be talking about that, but actually what we need to do is sit back and listen. So he said, for one day, practice saying only things about yourself when you're asked. So whenever you're talking to someone, don't say a single word about yourself. Don't say anything about yourself unless you're asked. And that way you will learn to set aside your ego. So I think part of this shadow work, this trigger opportunity that you're going to have, is going to have to do with something to do with your ego, learning to set yourself aside and listen to the other person more. So the benefit to you is the Five of Cups. So seeing the silver lining, it may be really easy to be hard on yourself this time, to be frustrated with yourself, to say, why am I like this? Why am I triggered? Instead, the benefit to you is going to be to look at those two cups that are still there for you. Look to this thing that you're really excited about, that's bringing in a lot of love. And this Two of Cups is more important than these three that have fallen down. So your opportunity right now is going to be something to do with a trigger or a shadow work today, and probably having to do with fear or having to do with ego. So certainly, if you want to learn any more about theta energy healing, let me know in the comments. We could do a short video talking about it and the process of it, and so you can understand the concepts that I'm talking about a little bit better. So what I like to do at the end of this reading is actually look at the book for the moon card. In this case, the moon card is a new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. And so let's look in the book. And I'm like, the book is under something. Okay. New moon in Scorpio. Okay. All right. This card suggests a rebirth. Oh, it's wonderful how things all come together. So this card is about rebirth and how when they're swallowed into the snake and they're reborn, so from darkness into light. So they're coming from the ashes as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark. Almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. This card suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is the time to work your magic. All right, so have some, oh, it's interesting, have some sexy time. Okay. Time to let go of a grudge. Move on from jealousy. So that could be another one. Grudges, holding on to grudges. So we're talking about different triggers as your opportunity today. So on Tuesday, something is probably going to happen. You might have to set aside a grudge, move on from jealousy, stop being obsessive, or here, that's interesting, make an investment. So this is saying, it's time for that rebirth. It's time for seeing the trigger for what it is, something to grow and to become a better, more beautiful human being as a result. So today, I think you know kind of play what's going on. It's interesting. The next underlying card is this Three of Swords and this grief. Letting yourself truly feel and grieve is an important part of this. You might find that you have a really big ego, and it's okay to let go of that and to grieve it and to move into a new paradigm. Thank you so much for coming to this reading, the Tuesday morning energy update. Taking a look at the opportunities. So if you like these videos, please subscribe and share with your friends, especially those friends that need it. No, I'm just kidding. Share with your friends. Anything you do will help YouTube know that you enjoy this. I will talk to you tomorrow.